Just wanted to show you some cool stuff out here. I am on the south end of the Sandias in New Mexico, one of my favorite places in the world, and spent a lot of time here as a kid, and I still love spending time here. Wanted to point out a couple things. It's pretty cool about this whole area. So, for one, there's tons of feeding on prickly pear cactus out here, and it's just a whole adventure in itself to differentiate who's doing what. See how much spacing there is between these needles? The rabbits prefer that over really tightly spaced needles that the wood rats and some of the smaller ground squirrels just don't care. There's other things here. We could go on and on. We're just getting to another topic though. We'll save all this for another day. But rabbits, one of the coolest things to look for when they are feeding on prickly pear, they tend to spend quite a bit of time there, which means you will also see their scats. But check this out. What's kind of neat about this is if we pick up one of these scats, look at it and be like, okay, cool. But if we bust it open, it has a juniper berry seed in it. And it's just so cool to look here and see a prickly pear that's being fed on, but the scats that this critter was leaving behind are filled with juniper berries. And so when we see sign like this, not only is it just so cool to be differentiating between all these different animals that are utilizing the actual meat of prickly pears, but the scats themselves do what scats do so well, where they actually show us about how an animal is actually interfacing with the landscape that it lives. And some of this, we could go on and on about spatial use over distance too, but we'll save that for another time. But look at this, this is so cool. So if I walk right over here, let's see where the stuff is at, and we come down to here, got some monster bucks, scats out here. There's some really big boys out on this end of the mountain, and kind of cool. So we're looking at them. Just here's a standard deer scat, although big, speaking to the body size of this, but check this out. If we grab into here, boom. False alarm. Here, let me grab one where I can actually see what's going on in here. Oh, what a letdown. Here you go. Take a look. Bust this apart, and boom, there are your juniper berries. And in fact, if you start looking at these scats, and I'm only touching these kind of scats because they don't gross me out the way that carnivore scats do, tend to be much safer, but just handling scats is not a good idea just for your own, strategy for life. But yeah, take a look. It's cool, you can see them in the outside of the scat sometimes. Look, that one's got 2 in there. How cool is that? And so here we are again, just deer scat, and they also have been feeding on the junipers right up there where that cottontail was. Now we cruise over here, and what's really neat about this spot is we got all kinds of critters. We got gray foxes, coyotes, bobcats. The gray foxes are in incredible numbers out here. And so if we drop down here, there's our little gray fox cat, my hand for scale. Take a look. That is entirely juniper berries. Nom, nom, nom. Just going to town here. So, and then right next door, we come down, and here is a bigger scat still. And put my hand down there for scale. Here is our coyote, and you can see in there, it has been eaten on a deer carcass probably. It's got deer hair in it. And what's that? You bet, juniper berries. And so what's so cool about this, if we wandered around here too, a little while, we might find big old bear scats filled with juniper berries. We find the raccoons down there closer to the boulders down by the water behind me, behind the direction you're looking at now. We will find them loaded with junipers. And I love the desert for a lot of these reasons, because you have cactus fruit, and you have juniper berries, and you have pinon nuts, and everything that blossoms in quantity in the desert becomes a primary food source. And you can see, and juniper berries are just really special because there's a lot of them and they stick around year round. And so they tend to be a foundational food source that you will see critters eating all the time. And so, beautiful thing. All right, thanks for hanging out for a bit. See you down the road.